Welcome to the Project Endure podcast, the place where we talk about life, endurance, persistence, perspective, and so much more. I'm Joe Rinaldi, and I'll be your host. Let's jump in. Before we get started, let me share a quote with you. The great Les Brown once said, "You can't see the picture when you're in the frame." If you've felt stuck in your fitness, mindset, or life as a whole, head down to the link in the show notes and reach out to learn more about Project Endure coaching so that we can help you step outside of the frame and bridge the gap between who you are now and who you want to be. We can't wait to hear from you. Now, let's get to the episode. Welcome back to the Project Endure podcast. This is a bonus episode with me, Joe Rinaldi. I'm recording this a few days prior to the new year, which will also mark the 1,000th day of my daily run streak. In other words, for the past 1,000 days, without exception, I've run a minimum of 1 mile. And that's what this short podcast is about. In no way, shape, or form is this podcast an attempt to gain recognition or acknowledgement of accomplishment. This podcast is just me recognizing what's happened over the past 1,000 days as a way to document a milestone in my life that has impacted me in many ways, and I hope can go on to impact someone else in a meaningful way as well. With that being said, I'll dive into this stream of thought, and I'll begin with the rules for the run streak. There are just 2 rules for the run streak. First, if I want to do it, I get to do it. Second, if I don't want to do it, I have to do it. Those 2 rules, in addition to the criteria of the run being at least 1 mile, those 2 rules to me are the basis of discipline. I'll repeat them. Rule 1, if I want to do it, I get to do it. Rule 2, if I don't want to do it, I have to do it. While I didn't realize it back in April of 2022 when this streak began, running every single day has changed my life in a big way. Before I get into that, here are some things that have happened since I began the streak. My wife, Michaela, and I bought a house, and for the past 2.5 years, strive every day to make it more of a home. We celebrated our 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and soon to be 5th wedding anniversaries. I ran the 2022 New York City Marathon, which was special beyond measure. We got a dog, and I've logged many miles with him. I've gotten a handful of tattoos and made some important life decisions. I've crewed clients running triple-digit distances and cheered on others in all sorts of endeavors, from marathons to bear crawl ultra marathons, cross-state rucks, and so much more. I've worked hard to grow Project Endure and have seen hundreds, almost thousands of people grow under our umbrella. We've held 3 annual events, with each year bigger than the last. Our next event is April 26th, 2025 here in Philadelphia, and I would love to have you there. I turned 28, 29, and 30. I've recorded well over 100 podcasts with people who I admire. I lunged around a track with a weighted vest for a mile and then ran home to keep the streak alive. I've seen the 3 a.m. hour more than most people will see in their lives. I've journaled every single day in an effort to be intentional with how I show up. I've hit life milestones that I'm not in a place to share at the moment, and have many more that I'll continue to pursue. I ran 74.4 miles on the Rocky Steps in 24 hours and somehow managed to crank out an 8-minute mile the next day for the streak. I won the Philadelphia Magazine Health and Wellness Influencer of the Year. I've made countless new friends and made some really great memories. I've fallen short, had low moments, and made mistakes, but not excuses. I've ran in the rain, in the cold, in the dark, in an airport, while I was sick, while I was hurting, on little sleep, alone, with others, without shoes, early mornings, late nights, on sidewalks, gravel, road, grass, and more. I ran when it would have made sense to stop and didn't listen to the reasonable voice because the streak mattered to me, and cheating it would mean cheating me. Here are some things that I've learned since beginning the streak. I've come to realize that showing up is a superpower and that being exceptional is an act of rebellion against what's comfortable, convenient, and quote unquote normal. If you want what other people don't have, you have to do what other people won't do. It's been reaffirmed for me that consistent effort compounds, and little by little, little becomes a lot. Being consistent doesn't mean being rigid. It actually means being adaptable. The daily run doesn't happen at the same time, in the same place. Sometimes it means running laps in the Philadelphia airport because that's what needs to be done. It's important to do the things that you want to do for you, not because you can look cool on social media. Those people who you so desperately want validation from don't care that much, if at all. And if you're never confident in who you're becoming, then nothing else matters. In time, crazy becomes cool. And I'm happy to have seen others start their own streaks as a result of this one. Life is about winning the small fights that no one else will ever see. It's about lacing up the shoes when it would be easier to sit on the couch. It's about getting to the gym when it would be more comfortable to stay in bed. It's about doing the extra work when it would be more convenient to call it a day. If you can't keep promises to yourself, how can you be trusted to keep promises to anyone else? Commitment is doing what you said you would, even when the mood you said it in has left you. Making a change requires an extreme attitude because, again, excellence is an act of rebellion, and making a shift means fighting against everything you've ever done or ever been. While it's important to be gentle with ourselves, sometimes change needs to be aggressive. Every single day, you get to decide what kind of person you're going to be. No matter what is happening to you or around you, you and you alone are responsible for the choices that you make. Once you embrace that level of ownership, things get better. Not easier, just better. Those are a few of the things that have happened and a few of the things that I've learned or been reminded of through the streak. And to wrap this short episode up, I have a challenge for you. Start a streak that works for you and commit to showing up every single day. Choose to live this year in a way so that you never need a New Year's resolution ever again. If there's anything that I can do to help, my inbox is always open. I'd love to have you join me on my streak at any point, and I mean that. I hope that you pursue potential and that this year is a great one, not because it's easy, but because you've chosen your hard. Thank you so much for listening. I'll talk to you next time. Go do hard things. If you enjoyed this episode of the Project Indoor podcast, go ahead and subscribe, leave a review on your platform of choice, and share this episode with a friend. It helps us get more conversations like this out to more people like you. We appreciate you, and we'll talk to you next time. And one more thing. If you're looking for a community of people all striving to be better together, check out the Project Endure Hard Things Club. The link is in the description below. We'd love to have you.